As long as you are able to serve, that makes you the greatest person, as he invites all of us to a life of humility. We only need to be humble to serve. We only need to be humble to be able to know that others can have a position that might look greater than ours, but in the sight of God, we are all the same. So today we are invited to be humble people. And humility is a virtue, and a very difficult virtue, because of our human desires, our egos, self-esteem. Sometimes we want to project ourselves beyond what others think about us because of pride. So humility is really a virtue that all of us need to learn. And in the smallest of things, we can find ourselves very prideful without even knowing it. And we are all guilty of this. I, for one, am guilty too. I remember one time when I was in Minnesota and I have drive to Minneapolis from St. Cloud. So I drove to get my appointment time, and I arrived there in good time, about 10 minutes before my appointment. So when I arrived at that spot, the GPS told me you have arrived. But I couldn't see the sign of where I was coming to. So I decided to drive again to keep checking around. And as I drove around, the lady in the GPS recalculated. She brought me back to the same spot again and said, you have arrived. And I still did not see what I wanted, and I kept going round and round and round. And she kept bringing me back to the same spot. And all of a sudden, I realized it was 5 minutes after my appointment time. And I arrived there early, but it was now 5 minutes after my time. So I now said to myself, you dump, get out of this car and ask somebody. So I got out of the car, and I asked somebody just close to where the lady in the GPS told me that I've arrived. I asked a man standing there, I said, hey, do you know where this and this? He said, yeah, here it is. Come out and ask somebody. I wanted to insist on getting it myself. And I was late for 5 minutes. My dear friends, there are times that simple acts of